Parents say no to woke insanity. Yes, that's the focus of tonight's angle. Donald Trump promised to make America great again, but he wasn't just talking about the economy or our health. Public education also needs rescuing. Sex and gender radicals, we know they're working overtime to sideline parents, subvert their authority, and keep them in the dark, if at all possible, about what their kids are learning. But today at the Supreme Court, a case out of the far-left Montgomery County, Maryland, should give us hope that slowly but surely we may be reclaiming the high ground in our schools. First, understand this. Montgomery County, Maryland school board members think that parents have no right, none, to object to their children being exposed to sexually inappropriate, most would say deviant, materials. Second, liberal parents love having their sons and daughters steeped in this filth, but the parents objecting are actually themselves a diverse group.
Hundreds of parents complained, mostly families from Muslim faith and Ethiopian Orthodox, who were objecting when they spoke to the board. The board accused them of using their religious beliefs as another reason to hate, accused a young Muslim girl of parroting her parents' dogma, and then accused the parents of aligning with racist xenophobes and white supremacists.
Okay, this is sick stuff. By the way, do you think those folks came legally from their homeland to come here to have their kids taught like that? I don't think so. That's not what they thought they were getting in America. But the books in this curriculum are for, remember, kindergarten through 5th grade. To give you an idea what 5-year-olds in Montgomery County are learning, look no further than Pride Puppy, about a dog going to the Pride Parade with its family. At the end of the book, there's even a search and find word list. It includes the words intersex, drag queens, lace, and leather. Lovely. Justice Kavanaugh today pressed the Montgomery County attorney about why they simply didn't allow students to opt out.
Every other school board in the country has opt-outs for all sorts of things. The county has opt-outs for all sorts of things. The other Maryland counties have opt-outs for all sorts of things. And yet for this one thing, they changed in mid-year and say no more opt-outs. I'm just not understanding feasibility.
With respect to these books, as they were deployed in the classroom, there was high absenteeism in some schools. For example, dozens of students being opted out.
I love saying the book's deployed, but that's it. Look, they force total compliance, no opt-out, because total indoctrination is their goal.
Montgomery County offers a free public education to parents only if their children use books featuring same-sex relationships and transgender issues. That burdens parents of multiple faiths whose religious duty is to shield their young children from such content.
100% right. But congratulations, Montgomery County. You're now known as the religious bigotry capital of the United States. You're so intolerant, you even lost Justice Kagan.
I, too, was struck by, these are, young kids, picture books, and on matters concerning sexuality. I suspect there are a lot of non-religious parents who weren't all that thrilled about this. And then you add in religion, and that's, even more serious.
Now, to be clear, this case isn't even close. It shouldn't be. The ruling should be 9-0 in favor of the parents. But then again, the Constitution, religious liberty, parental rights, they don't seem to matter as much to certain justices who sound like they're frustrated MSNBC pundits.
The parent can choose to put their kid elsewhere. You don't have to send your kid to public school. I'm struggling to see how it burdens a parent's religious exercise if the school teaches something that the parent disagrees with. You have a choice. You can homeschool them.
Okay, it sounds like Justice Jackson, God bless her, studied a different con law than I did in law school. I'm not sure what she studied. It's unconscionable that a sitting Supreme Court justice would contend that it is constitutionally permissible to penalize Christian or Muslim parents for exercising their religious liberty rights.
Go private. That is the smug response on my local parenting blog to parents who cannot, in good conscience, risk their children being taught lessons about sexuality that violate their most fundamental religious beliefs.
The board has essentially told us that we do not get a final say in our children's education. No notice, no consent, no choice.
These mothers are awesome, by the way. Congratulations for having the guts to speak out. But it gets a lot worse because these leftists are trying to intimidate other parents from resisting their school's sexual propaganda. Because the sense is you oppose them and they're going to somehow maybe even take it out on your kids. Maybe a kid won't get a recommendation to go on to the next school, or they're just going to paint you as cruel, a cruel anti-rainbow hater.
There are kids who go home to rainbow families, showing the beautiful diversity that exists. And we know that a number of our kids are LGBTQ+. And the reality that we're talking about today is people want to erase us from books. They want to erase us from existing. And are we going to let them erase us? No, we are not.
There's not an eraser big enough, okay? These people should not be allowed anywhere near children or education. Not only because they don't respect parents' rights, because they're also really dumb.
People don't live just one lives. They have many identities that intersect. And we must look at this interconnectedness of people's race, gender, sexual orientation, disability, religion, immigration status, and more. When we teach lessons and we share beliefs, we must do so to bring people together and not divide them. Our schools need to be places of joy, safety, and visibility for all.
Oh, visibility. Oh, be an ally. Look, there's nothing safe about learning with these people in charge. American history, Western civilization, the great works, human biology. They want the truth buried and replaced by their warped worldview where children are treated like sexual silly putty to be molded by teachers who can undo the damage done by traditional parents. And by the way, all their platitudes they mouth about diversity, but what they really demand is conformity.
No child should be shielded from the reality of human diversity. To allow students to opt out of learning about people different from themselves is to teach them that ignorance is a virtue. A diverse education is not indoctrination, it is illumination.
Oh my goodness, is that painful? Well, from the sound of things at oral arguments today, and you can never totally predict, but it seems like a majority of justices aren't buying any of this. And when the court's decision is handed down in June, you should expect the usual eruptions from all the usual suspects who somehow landed jobs in schools. And that's the angle.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.